Alright, how's it going, everybody? It is Nightmare Zen coming through doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be going over the Guilty Gear beta. Was able to go about playing this pretty recently. I just want to go about giving my feedback in regards to it. Some positives, some negatives, some things that I like to go about seeing change for the future of the game. As of right now, I think that I've had a good amount of time to really sit down, talk to some people, throw back some ideas and whatnot, and really come to like a conclusion of how I feel about the beta. I didn't want to go about giving something like rushed as to like my thoughts to it. So as of now, I'm feeling pretty good as far as like talking about the beta and really just, you know, giving out my feelings towards it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Besides that though, check out this lobby system. It looks pretty interesting. You know, I'm really liking, you know, the part of being able to, like, you know, edit your character and whatnot. You thought your swords and, you know, go about duking it out. I think that's pretty cool, man. But please improve the matchmaking. That's all I ask, ArtSys. Please, you know, you make cool lobbies, but please improve the matchmaking. All right. Now, when it comes to the beta itself, I think that, you know, it was pretty fine for what it was. The first day there was some issues of, like, you know, getting started and everything, but afterwards of that, the beta, it was going pretty well overall. Like, I think the biggest thing to go about really being addressed within that situation is just the lobby system itself. While it's not bad, it is one of those where that the aesthetic of it looks good, but the implementation of it just doesn't work out all that well. There's a good amount of times of where just trying to get matches with people was a struggle more than anything else. There was no rematch option, so as soon as you got done, it just spit you out back into the lobby, which isn't the worst thing in the world. However, when you got enough of wins, sometimes it would go about spinning you out the lobby to where that it may go about placing you within a higher lobby, which sounds cool on paper, but it goes about cutting off a section of player base to you whenever you go about moving up within the levels of the tower, which I don't think, like I said, is the worst thing within the world, but for a beta experience, I don't think that should have been something implemented. You do have it to where that when you get to the higher level, that you essentially only have like 2 or so lobbies to go about working with, where that if it isn't working well for you, well, you're kind of just stuck to where that you have to go about leaving and coming back in, you know. So it's a problem that I think can go about being addressed over time. It is a beta, and there is a good amount of time beforehand the game coming out, so it can be something addressed for sure. But I do like the look of it. If we could just have it so that it could work properly, that'd be great. Also, I think of like the matchmaking of how, you know, actually trying to fight people could be something to rework too. There's a good amount of times where I didn't know who I was going to be fighting, even though that it seemed like a good amount of times of me having my weapon out and being next to somebody that was supposed to be the person I was going to play. That usually wasn't the case. As far as with the combat of it, I like the approach that they're taking with the game to where like they want about simplifying it. No, it still feels like a Guilty Gear game, but it doesn't seem as convoluted, as complicated as the past Guilty Gear games have been. A lot of them have a good amount of system mechanics that are implemented within it that you trying to learn the game really is, you know, you have to do a lot of research for it. You have to be a scientist basically of like really being able to figure out all of these things and actually implement them within the right way. I don't mind having a good amount of mechanics within my game, but I think that to the degree of how that the game has been, that them taking that route of making it simpler of a game is not bad, especially for a newer audience trying to come into the game. It still feels like that you being a legacy player still has merits to it. There's not a whole lot that has been changed to where that if you weren't already aware of how Guilty Gear is, that you wouldn't be able to come into the game and have that familiarity. But obviously things are different to where that it gives a fresh experience of things that have to go about learning to figure out as to these changes of things and really be able to, you know, to build a strategy off of them. So when it comes to the combat itself, I think that it's pretty nice. The damage is pretty high for what it is. If you get like a heavy attack, you're really losing some health. So it really gives me like some Street Fighter 2 type of vibes, even though obviously this is an anime game. The light attacks, you don't get a whole lot off of them. But I don't see too big of a problem with it. This is one of those things where it seems like they're trying to reward more of like punishing people. And you know, when you go about getting those big hits to where that you can be able to take like chunks of health from people, which I don't think is bad. With everything else that this game has to offer, I think that it works out pretty well. It still, again, feels like a Guilty Gear game, but not knowing how to do the complicated combos that this game can be kind of known for is not that much of a thing that exists here, even though it still kind of has that to a degree. It's more so focusing on, it seems like, the punishment aspect on top of that, without like you essentially losing your health bar over getting hit by a jab. With that though, I would say the one thing that really bothers me the most with the game when it comes to the combat is just the fact that it seems like anti-airing is a little bit questionable, despite the fact that they've changed the air dash. A good amount of the time of trying to take people out of the air feels a little bit questionable for me, despite the fact that I've been playing Soul, who is a character who has, you know, more than enough of things to take people out the air. It just seemed like it was really hard of discouraging people from staying out the air, and really hard of like, as me being grounded, being able to take people out the air, besides of using like my reversal. So I feel like that's something that should also be changed too. I don't think that it really needs to be tuned too much per se, but it just feels like that for some people, that they're at the mercy of people like just staying in the air, and really hard to discourage them from doing so. But that's pretty much my only thing I would say that I would go about changing with it. Probably the wall break dynamic could probably be worked around too. I feel like that if you get your opponent to the corner, I don't think that they should have the easiest of ways of being able to get out of the corner. Being like stuck onto the wall, you can be able to like tech off of it and, you know, go out pretty far from where the wall is at. I just feel like that there should be more of a workaround of where, like, if you get the corner, that you can be able to maintain your position without breaking the wall. So hopefully that's something else that they would go about looking into too, because having somebody in the corner is a really advantageous position, and sometimes you may not want to go about giving that up. Now granted, you do get a bonus whenever that you do break the wall to like the meter, but for sometimes I feel that, you know, just like with any other game where you can be able to like have those choices of going for the damage or like going for the meter, I feel like that this is one of those cases where like I should have the option there to be able to go for the position or to go for the potential meter gain. But as far as with like the beta itself, when it was working, like it was doing pretty well. Luckily there wasn't like too many moments where that it happened to where that just wasn't like cooperating like that. When I was able to go about getting in the lobbies and being able to get matches, like everything was going pretty well. I didn't really like the timing between the matches sometimes, where that I would just consistently get like failed to like match up with somebody. The time in between the matches could be a little bit of a drag, and then to again of them spitting you out the lobby sometimes if you found somebody or you found one of your friends that you wanted to play with. Eventually you would just, you know, get shipped into like another lobby, and there goes as far as you doing your matches with your friends, you know. But I feel like that these things can most definitely be improved over time. I'm pretty sure they'll have like their own little like player versus player section to be able to go into, so that type of thing won't happen. But we'll see. The game does not have a release date as of yet. It's supposed to be coming out at the end of 2020. So we'll see. There's a good amount of room for change to be made for the game itself. But I had a good experience overall with playing with it. majority of my gripe is just, improving the lobby system. It looks good, but make it actually function better. And just the whole anti-airing thing. I think between those two, that's really like the major things. And of course, being able to like maintain the corner pressure in a more efficient way. If we can get over these things, I think this game will really be amazing. And it already is a great game in my opinion for what it is. I had more fun with this game than I thought that I really would, to be honest. So if you're looking forward as far as to this game, I can most definitely understand why. I truly am too. I just hope for there to be some changes to overall improve the quality of life for this game. Also, shout out to my buddy Lanimal for giving me a beta code for this. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to get the opportunity to go about playing this beta at all. And good games as far as everybody that I did go about playing within the beta too. I was able to go about making it to floor 10, which I'm pretty proud of that too, especially being somebody who kind of just dabbles with the game. Had a lot of good matches for sure, and got to play against a good variety of everybody. So, really happy as far as the experience. And again, just really appreciate even having the opportunity to be able to play the game. As far as with it though, tell me how you're feeling about the beta. As of right now, and afterwards just talking with everybody, I'm feeling really good as far as about it. Like I said, there are most definitely some things that do need to be cleaned up, but I do think that with the time given, being that these aren't like the biggest of things, that we'll go about seeing some good stuff whenever that this game has some more trailers and gameplay to go about coming out for it. So I'm really looking forward to this game. Like I said though, tell me how you're feeling about it. You like the beta? Do you feeling like there's a little bit more that needs to go about being done? Let me know. Y'all know the YouTube lingo. Like, comment, subscribe. You can click that share button though. It has been your boy Nightmares, and until next time though, y'all take care, okay? Peace.
대화かけさせやがって